Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 here in Memphis and 92.9 HD-FM. And hard to believe John Gordon and Ron Wong is our co-host. We've almost done it again, hadn't we?
Almost.
Almost. You like to say that, don't you? Right, John? Just it's hard to see.
Right.
We just sat down just a few minutes ago, and here we are, the final segment of the show. One time I said the final segment, everybody thought we were quitting. Well, we never know, in these days and times. But we've saved the best for last because we've been talking, as John Gordon has pointed out several times, we've been talking some fishing, and we really appreciate Emily Hartley setting up the interviews, but we wanted to talk to the man who's, golly, this has got to be a crazy spring for Bruce Akin. He is the BASS CEO. Every press release I get says Bassmaster postpones, BASS postpones. Yeah. What's the other one? Bassmaster Collective TV debuts. Hey, we got some good news here. So, good morning, Bruce.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good to be back on the show with you.
Always good.
Pretty tough times right now, but hey, we'll all get through them.
Well, let's talk about it, Bruce. I know in your positions, decisions have to be made, and you guys have to look ahead. I know they're hard decisions, but I believe, and I know Ron and John Gordon both believe, these are the right decisions to make. So talk about how you formulate what with your staff. You sit around and say what we got to do. So give me some ideas. You've had 8 events originally scheduled between March and May, postponed. So talk about how tough it is to make that, because I know it doesn't just affect you and BASS, but it affects all those locations where those tournaments are going to be.
It affects all the locations. It affects sponsors. It affects the anglers themselves as well. So I used to say they were very tough decisions, and they are hard decisions. But with all the recent events and the pandemic and all, as it makes the decisions easier, we do need to come up with some new wording, I think, now, because it's getting a little redundant, that we're postponing another one.
Well, you've got a great marketing staff, so let them come up with it, Bruce. Okay, just give them that.
Right. And Emily does a great job of that. So, but we involve everybody, the host cities as well, our staff, our tournament staff, our marketing staff. We all collaborate on these. We try to wait as late as we can to make the decision, so we don't prematurely make a decision. But we have things like lodging, people having to take off work like to fish the opens, a lot of considerations where they've already got their places locked in, and also paying their entry fees and those kinds of things. Like last week, it came up to the date to pay the entry fees.
Yeah.
So we said, we need to go ahead and make a call on that Eastern Open that was coming up first or second week in May.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do them as we go. We're also working in the background to reschedule them.
Good. Okay.
Now it looks like we are working with the host schedules. It looks like that if we got back started as late as first part of August, we've got a plan in place. Now we'd finish the season up probably in November or so.
Okay.
But we do have those dates. We're going to probably announce those the next week or so. And we'll just say, if we get to start back at this point, this is what the schedule will look like. If we're able to get some in, then obviously those would come off of this future schedule that we're looking at. So,
well, Bruce, if they can have the Masters in November, we can fish in November. Okay, so
absolutely.
The
staff reminds me that we used to start the season. The Classic was in August. And
remember that, Ron?
The season started in the fall.
Yeah,
and the fall fishing was great.
Yes, it was. So
John would appreciate that. A lot of them want to be in the duck blind and or getting ready to duck hunt or deer hunting and all that. A lot of our anglers do that as well. So But we're just it's a puzzle. Like I said, it's a puzzle to put together. But our staff's working hard, and the hosts are working hard. The anglers are working hard. We're trying to keep content going during this time, but to do it safely. You may have seen that we've got a new initiative out. It's Live Smart, Fish Smart.
Yes. Yeah.
And all, and just read this week that even upstate New York is shutting ramps down, golf courses, etc. So we just all got to do our part right now.
It is what it is, and I know I've been in this business more than 50 years, and so that's a long time. Yes, I started when I was 5, but I've never been through a lot of these things that we're going through, Bruce, and I know it's tough, but let's when we talk about postponements, as John Gordon has talked about earlier about DUTV and putting together their series and having to wait and see what's going on. We can say, the Bassmaster Classic, it's going to be on TV, y'all. It's coming up. Yep. Don't give up on it. It's coming up, So that first episode was, we've had that. On April the 5th was the first episode, the Bassmaster Classic first day, and now here we're coming up, day 2, coming up on this coming
tomorrow.
Yes, yeah. 9 a.m., 2-hour show.
I have to tell you, what a show.
What a show. That first one, I've already watched the first one because I had to make sure that Wong was right on everything that he said, and he was right,
Yeah.
Hank Cherry did win. I want to make sure,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know that yet.
No. Oh, golly, I shouldn't have told it. Golly, all you folks that have not been around, been in a cellar waiting on a tornado to come through for 3 months, get up and know that I'll have to say. But then they're going to have the Classic on the April the 19th. So talk about the TV deal, because you guys have really kept this. At least I can only watch the same golf tournament so many times. So talk about how you've been able to keep the people abreast through your outlets, not only social media and your magazines, which are great, but also the TV show.
Yeah, obviously we're working with ESPN too. Also to reschedule the events that were scheduled.
Right. Yes.
And we're juggling that some because we didn't have a couple of the elites that will be running. So one thing we're doing is we're moving the re-airs of the Classic up this way. So we already run St. John's, and we'll run a re-air of it as well. I think the 18th, is when it runs, and then the 19th, like you said, we'll finish up the Classic, and then we'll re-air it in April. I think we have a Winning Ways coming up in there as well.
Got that
and then
in
we'll
there.
just loop it back out, and we'll have to extend on into October, November, likely.
Doesn't bother me.
The airings.
Yeah.
And so we'll have that to watch, whether it's the football season or not. So, I'm sure at that point, ESPN will have plenty of programming, including the Masters in November. But we're working with them as well. That's another piece of the puzzle, and we'll keep it going. We've been doing some of these Classic rewinds too.
I love
it.
Yeah. Yes.
And we're working now on some elite rewinds from last year.
Oh, are you? Okay.
People aren't getting to watch live, so we'll probably start putting those out on Bassmaster.com in the next week or two, so people can whet their appetite a little bit.
I can't believe it's 21st consecutive year the Classic's been on ESPN networks. It just doesn't seem possible. Yeah.
It's a good long run.
It's a long run. Well, Bruce, I know Ron can't wait for you to figure out your schedule so I can finally figure out where he'll be, because he's...
I would love to. I'd love to be able to update my schedule.
Yeah.
And be out there covering the elite tournaments, the open tournaments.
Well,
I really miss being with the people, too.
Well, Ron,
such great people.
We'll get that to you next week, hopefully. We'll work it
just for him.
I think we'll be ready to get get your calendar reworked.
Oh well, he'll rework it again. Bruce.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's
Absolutely.
It's always a work in progress for Ron.
Yeah.
Bruce, thank you, buddy, for
Larry.
taking time. I know that things are busy in Birmingham, so I just appreciate your leadership and what you've done and your time spent and at Live Smart and Fish Smart. That's we need to have that here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. So thank you, man. You have a good one.
All right, well, thank y'all. Y'all take care.
We'll stay in touch. Thank you, Bruce Akin. All right, guys, we got a couple of minutes here. As John has said earlier, DUTV. Now we can still go to ducks.org and watch DU. We can watch series, can't we? I mean.
Oh yeah. That all the episodes from the past season and well for the majority of
I've watched two
on the website.
Yeah, I've watched 2 or 3 of them. And Ron, I know that no matter there's no tournament or nothing, you have a busy schedule, so keep posting the pictures, okay, Ron? And again, go to lroutdoors.com and look at the bang-up job that Ron and Samantha, they are a team. I should say Samantha and Ron.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, because it's right there on lroutdoors.com. The great interviews, all the photos and everything else. Let me tell you about next week's show. It is a special show. The entire show will be with Ed Carter, director of the TWRA, who after 434 years is retiring from the TWRA. No, not that long, but Ed is stepping down. He's been a friend of our show, and we're going to surprise him. He doesn't even know this. We're going to surprise him with some guests throughout the show next week, people that have been a part of his career in over 40 years with the TWRA. So that's next week. 2 weeks, me and Ron, we're already working on some fishing stuff and turkey stuff. I got to get some turkey stuff in there. John, you're always eligible to call in anytime, buddy, okay?
And, of course, John and I are going to go fishing.
John,
that's right. We're going fishing.
And then I'm going fishing, too. That sounds
you are.
That sounds like a song, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's like a fishing party.
Yeah, that's a fishing party, yeah.
A fishing party.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
That's good, Shelby.
All right. Thank you, guys. Let's tell everybody, as we always do, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else? God bless the U.S.